So yeah, that was a brief summary of the account overview page. Hope that was clear. If not, you can always post down there a comment and I'll do my best in replying. Anyhow, moving on, if we were to click on this menu button here, you can see that there's actually a few more other tabs over here. Moving on, okay, we were in the overview ones, moving on to the investment opportunities one. So this tab here would be a list of investment opportunities. There should be a list here, but it's empty somehow. Probably all the notes have been invested. But yeah, it'll be like note 1, 2, 3, and so on. What kind is it? Is it a business term? Accounts receivable, accounts payable? How much does a note need? What's the interest rate? What's the tenure? How long do you have to wait to get your returns? Things like that. But anyhow, seeing how it's empty here, I'll explain more on what's the definition of each of these financing. So I'm gonna explain it in a very basic way because I don't want to confuse you. There's actually a lot of how do I put it? There's actually a lot of definitions within each of these notes. But for layman's understanding, for business term financing, this is more so of your typical personal loan, that you take from the bank. Just that it's an unsecured loan. That will mean if the person can't pay back, that there's no collateral, there's no property, house, car, or anything to actually help to offset that loan amount. So yeah, that will mean that this equates to higher risk and hence higher interest possible for them to pay and for us investors to get. So for business term financing, how it usually works is that, let's say I were to borrow 1,000 ringgit. So the interest, let's say it's 12% per annum. So that will equate to 120, so 1120. So then every month I have to pay back the principal plus interest in a uniform manner. So that will mean that the 1120, let's say I were to borrow it for 1 year, so that 1120 will be divided by 12. So let's just double check on that. So I borrowed 1,000, I'll multiply it by 12% per annum, right? Yep, as you can see, it is actually 120, so this was plus together, and you get that. So basically 1,000 was the principal that I wanted to borrow. This would be the interest that I have to pay back. So total of 1,120. So if I were to borrow this for 1 year, I have to pay back every month around 93.33. So that's how the payment works. I have to pay back the unit amount of the principal and interest that I owe every month to funding societies, and funding societies will pay this amount back to investors, but of course after deducting the service fees. Moving on to the accounts receivable financing. So for this case, as the name suggests, because there's the word receive there, receivable, means the amount that's going to be received by the person who wants to borrow the loan. So let's say that I'm a business person who actually sold something to customer A. Just say, customer A is owing me this money, but I've got a document, the invoice, to show that this customer A has actually bought stuff from me. Just say, they're owing me money and they'll probably pay me back around maybe 1 month later, 2 months, 3 months, you get the idea. So but the thing is, this 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months could be too long for me as a business person. Maybe I'll need that extra cash to buy more inventory, or use it for expansion, to do other kinds of things to improve my business. So in this case, I'll go to funding societies. I'll tell them, hey, I've got this invoice here, it's a guaranteed payment from my customer. So can I get some money from you to use for my business first? But then once my customer A pays me, then I'll just return the money. But of course, there's some interest involved. So yeah, that's how it works. So I hope that was clear, the accounts receivable financing. Moving on to our last one, which would be accounts payable financing. So for this case, I, as a business person, would promise you that I would be paying you this amount of money back, but I'll tell you as well what I'll be using the money for. So in this case, accounts payable is actually broken into two. One would be purchase order financing, which means I would tell you that I'm going to use this money to invest in inventory. I'm going to use this to improve my factory, things like that. The other one under accounts payable would be called dealer financing. So it's actually a new financing with funding societies. So based on what I read earlier in the articles, basically what it is a sort of, you can think like a collaboration between them and used car dealers, the UCDs. So basically they help crowdfund money for these UCDs to actually buy used cars, for their business. So after they have purchased the cars and after a certain period of time, they should return the money together with interest to funding societies, and funding societies will channel this money to us investors. So that's roughly how it is. So yeah, that was roughly like the summary that we talked about with regards to the different financing possible on funding societies at the moment. But then yeah, I do understand that this one was, the pace was quite fast as well, and there are a lot of things to digest. And there may be times where I didn't go through in much detail, tenure, the types of repayment, the service fees for each of these kind of notes. But anyhow, you can actually go to this section here, the FAQ. I can't actually open a new tab on this, but yeah, if you were to click here, you would come to this page here. So on this FAQ page, you can actually find out more about FS, funding societies. Issuers will be people who want to borrow loans, so yeah, that's the term they use in P2P money lending, and investors will be us. So in our case, because you want to know about the returns, the interest rate, things like that, so you click on the investors, and if you click that, you come under these subtopics. So you will go to investment type. As you can see, you see all the definitions of business term, accounts payable, accounts receivable, and dealer financing. And just so you know, like these codes you see in the brackets, MBBT and BAP, so these are like the code names that funding societies use for their note types. So if you had to see, let's say, you got a note invested, it's like, let's say, MBBT, the serial number is like, 8888, so you know that it is a business term financing note, and maybe it's like 8,888 note that they are issued. So if you had to click on each of these, it actually comes down to these four here. So you can see each of them are actually pretty chunky, So you can see, there's talk on like, what's the tenure like, what are the expected interest rates, some examples. If you were to go, as you can see, there are like the subnotes under accounts payable. And then the service fees, as you can see, that it really varies throughout, the different kinds of notes. And there are sometimes even like the, how do I call this, like the money flow, the process flow of how things work as a whole. And if there's collateral involved, as you can see, there's even calculations involved as well to make sure that you as an investor understand properly like how everything's calculated. So yeah, make sure you do check out all of these, on the FAQs page, as it really helps you as an investor to understand what risk you're getting into, and how does the whole structure works.
So yeah, that's about it for part 2 of my portfolio performance. Well, I mean, there's not much about portfolio, but rather an explanation of the investment notes available, on the platform, the definitions, and where you can find the FAQs. Hope you enjoyed that. If you got any questions, bring it on. Because I really like discussions, exchange of questions, doubts, and also any other suspicions that you have, because it's very good that we voice it out to talk about it instead of just like keeping it to ourselves and being skeptical about it all the time. Anyhow, yeah, to give this video a like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more info. Do let me know as well if you want me to explore other forms of investments, in Malaysia or abroad. See you next time, and yeah, see ya.